Welcome to Season 3 of Soccer Over Gotham, an NWSL podcast covering New Jersey, New York, Gotham FC. Hosted by Ruby Pinto and Gary Gibson. Welcome to episode 77 of Soccer Over Gotham. We have a great show for all of you. Gary, tell us, what do we have in this episode?
We got a lot. Lightning strikes twice as Gotham gets a much-needed 3 points at home against the Red Stars. Mana Shim, and no, that's not a typo in my notes. Yes, that Mana Shim signs a short-term injury replacement contract with Gotham FC. Unreal. It's officially official. Sinead Farrelly and Bruninha are heading to the World Cup. This midweek Challenge Cup game against the Pride is postponed. We will have our first transfer rumor of the season. We'll also get you caught up on #OnceGotham. Our guests tonight are a lot of fun. We have Nina and Amanda from the Angel City Chicks podcast to preview our next opponent, Angel City. We will talk Freya, we will talk Becki, we will talk all things Angel City. Can't wait. There's so much to talk about. Let's just get started. How are you, Ruby?
Woo! Again, another busy week for me. It's been really busy. So I feel like the theme for the rest of the summer will be like, I'll be tired. That's my theme of the summer, but in a good way, in a good way, because we're going out a lot. Like, for example, I mentioned last week, I was going to go to Washington, D.C. and just tour around, just be a tourist out there. And we had a great time. Had a good time overall. But let me tell you, I had an Airbnb nightmare. When I travel, usually I do Airbnbs. Mm-hmm. And this one looked really, really nice on the pictures. And I was like, it was a nice place for all of us to stay. And we drove 4 hours or 4 hours and a half to get there. And it was not like the pictures. Oh. That place was disgusting. First of all, we got in there. It smelled really bad in the building. We got in, there's a bunch of like fans going on. I was like, okay, like, is the AC not working? And it was dirty, a lot of dust. We found a roach. It was like past midnight, so I couldn't even find a hotel at that time. We tried. We were like on the phone with my wife, like trying to find a hotel for everyone to go stay. We couldn't. So long story short, I didn't sleep that night because I didn't feel comfortable sleeping in that place. Everyone else seemed to be fine. They're like, don't worry, like, it's okay. It's just for one, like, we're just gonna, and I was like, but this is not like the pictures. If I show you the pictures, you'll be like, what the heck, too. Yeah. But anyway, we contacted Airbnb. We let them know, like, hey, this is unacceptable. Like, of all the times that I stay at an Airbnb, this has been the worst for sure. And yeah, so we complained. We're getting our money back, thank God. And the next night we stayed at a hotel, nice hotel. I had zero sleep. I did not sleep. Then we went to tour the White House. And after the White House, I think we got to our hotel like around 4:30ish. I took a shower right away and I knocked out the next day. Yeah.
Any celebrity sightings in Washington, D.C.?
No, I didn't see anyone that I knew. No? And honestly, I wasn't really looking for anyone.
Okay.
Yeah, it was really hot that day too. It was like really humid and hot. So, and I walked like, I think I walked like 12,000 steps that day. It was crazy. I don't really walk because I'm sitting in the office most of the week. Yeah. And we talked about this. I should be walking more. Anyway, how was your week, Gary? I like hogged over and took over this podcast.
No, you're totally fine. I usually just plant flowers and bushes and all kinds of stuff. But this year, for some reason, I was passing just like a string bean plant and like was at a grocery store. And I was like, what the heck? Pick it up. I put it in the ground in my little raised garden. And it's going crazy. So,
oh my God.
In the next week, there's going to be like hundreds of these little beans. And I have no idea what to do with them. So if any of the fans of this podcast know any vegan recipes for string beans, send them our way because I don't know what else I'm going to do with these things.
Oh my God. You got to Google it. You know what else you should grow?
What's
like
that?
Actual beans.
Yeah, I should try that.
Hey, you should try that.
All right, let's get to some team news. Ruby, let's just talk about it. Taylor Smith has been put on a 45-day disabled list. Gotham, seemingly out of the blue, drops this news. They sign Mana Shim to a short-term injury replacement contract. She is currently the chair of the Participant Safety Task Force at U.S. Soccer, which oversees how the Sally Yates recommendations are being applied to U.S. Soccer. So she's a big person in that world now, and it's incredible, and I'm just super excited.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's amazing news. And going back to Taylor Smith, that's such a bummer for her to be on that disabled list. And for players, it's truly like frustrating to deal with injuries during the season, especially ones that require significant time for recovery. And then adding to our challenges, we're currently missing 6 players due to the World Cup, which leaves us shorthanded. So her being out is not ideal. And now we're bringing in replacements that will benefit the team. Like you mentioned, we are bringing Mana Shim, which is really, really cool to have her at Gotham. I said this last week, I believe, that Gotham is building a club where players want to play. And this is another testament to that players want to come here and play because they feel safe. They feel like this is the right club. And I cannot wait to see her play for Gotham with the Gotham jersey on.
Yeah, who wouldn't feel safe with Mana Shim walking around the clubhouse?
Yes.
And it feels unreal to me. Being at that game, sitting front row, I sit where the players warm up, and I'm watching this game, and every maybe every minute, I'm looking over my shoulder going, that's really her, isn't it? That's really Mana Shim standing right there, warming up for this team. It feels unreal, like pinch me. It feels unreal. But all right, let's move on. So 10 weeks after a torn quad, Midge Purse hits her 100th NWSL appearance.
Ooh, congratulations to Midge Purse on reaching the 100th NWSL appearance. That's a significant achievement there. Congrats to her.
Hitting 100 appearances is incredible. It's a testament to her longevity and how important she is to this team. I'm super excited for her to be back. And going into this break, couldn't have a better player coming back onto this roster, especially when we're losing Lynn Williams and all of that. So just congratulations to her. It's awesome for this team and really sets up this team to be really dangerous during this break. Now we have our first transfer rumor of the season. According to Relevo.com, both Matiani Lopez and Esther Gonzalez of Real Madrid are linked to Gotham. It looks like they're expected to announce their futures before the World Cup, according to the article, but it may not be until next season that they arrive if they do indeed sign for Gotham.
It will be a great addition for Gotham to bring in Gonzalez. She is a one-touch finisher, which I think we need, and she's very good in the air. Right now, she's the top scorer for Real Madrid, so I think bringing her will be really good, especially because I've been saying this, we need goals. And I think if we bring someone that could do that, that'll be really cool.
Yeah, and Lopez would be really much needed center back depth. I think that would be a good addition to this team as well. Let's get on to the World Cup. It's official. Sinead Farrelly and Bruninha are heading to the World Cup.
Woo! Finally, it's official. Like we knew, but it was not officially official, like we've been saying. We have many players going to this World Cup for the first time, and I cannot imagine what they're feeling right now. This is a big tournament. This World Cup is going to be special. You know, we're going to see 6 of Gotham players in this big tournament.
Yeah, out of all the positions that we are losing, for me, right back seems the one that's most interesting. I assume Niswanger stays at left back, but now with Bruninha and O'Hara gone, that means the right back spot is pretty open. Now, I know Jean is a natural outside back, so it may as well just be her pushed to the outside. Mm-hmm. I know Edmonds can also play on the outside back. I don't want to see Midge Purse there now that we're losing Taylor Smith and Anamanu. I'd rather have her up top. But, you know, who knows? Ambrose might just put Yasmin there or Betos. Who knows? Right?
We'll have to find out in our next game to see if Betos will play that. But I think, it will be probably Niswanger, Krieger if she's good to come back, Edmonds if she's good to come back as well, because they were in that injury list. And then Jean. I think Jean will be the one to take that role.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's get caught up on hashtag once Gotham. So these following players have earned national team replacement contracts. Kelly Ann Livingstone is now with the Reign. Keeper Hensley Handcuff is with the Courage. And Elizabeth Eddy is with Angel City.
All these teams got great players. Kelly, Handcuff, Eddie, they're so good. And it'll be so good to see all these hashtag once Gotham players do their thing.
It was interesting. At the game, Jennifer Cujo was there with another player. I didn't recognize the other player that was attending the game.
Mhm.
I doubt it means anything, but it was just good to see her in person in the building.
Yeah, I did see on her Instagram she posted she was at Red Bull. I think she was close to your section.
Yeah, she was like 10 rows behind me.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. I'm so bad. I just don't like to bother people. So, but anyway, let's get to this game. Gotham, after a hot start, has been a little bit of a summer swoon, if you want to call it that. So, just what the doctor ordered, Chicago comes to Red Bull Arena, losers of their last three. This is the World Cup send off match. Onto the roster, Midge Purse is off the injury list, which is amazing. Also, we have Sabrina Flores is out with her foot. Taylor Smith, again on the disabled list for thigh. And questionable is Ali Krieger for thigh and Kristen Edmonds lower leg. Onto the formation, we have a 4-3-3 again. Abby Smith in goal and the back line of Neiswanger, Long, Jean, and Bruninha. Midfield, we have Christy Mewis, Neely Martin, and Sinead Farrelly. This is where it gets interesting. We have Lynn Williams, Sheehan, and Kelly O'Hara as a right forward. What are your thoughts, Ruby?
First of all, I'm so glad we went back to 4-3-3.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, it was unexpected to see O'Hara playing in a higher position. But as we all know, Juan Carlos Amoros likes to experiment and introduce new tactics. And since we were facing Chicago Red Stars, I think that provided the perfect opportunity to explore different approaches and strategies.
Yeah, it felt a little bit disrespectful to put O'Hara up top. They need to put her somewhere because I think Bruninha is the locked in starter at the right back now.
Yeah.
They had to kind of fit her in somewhere, so that's where they put her. But I mean, I wonder how this affects O'Hara when she returns from the World Cup. Hopefully, she comes back fully healthy.
Yeah, definitely. That's a really good question there. Will O'Hara reclaim her position, or will the coach find a new position or role for her on the team?
It's Chicago, so have a little bit of fun. The mad scientist Amros, he struck again. Long as a center back. That was really, really interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Get to this game. There is no other way, Ruby, to describe the first half of this game other than a hot mess.
Yep.
both teams, Nair and Smith, were doing their best Manuel Neuer impressions, but not by choice. Both of them were ended up 45 yards out of goal, chasing down players, and it was just a mess. However, there was a lot of offense in this. Even though it ended up 0-0, there was a ton of offense. Lynn Williams had plenty of shots, and Nair put up 2 or 3 really, really big saves. And even Abby Smith put in a save or 2 that were fantastic. And honestly, going into half 0-0 felt out of place.
Yeah, it was a little chaotic out there. When Abby Smith would come out, I would like out of her net. I was watching with like one eye closed and one eye open and thinking, what are you doing? I was like, go back. What's going on? I mean, yeah, at least this first half was giving me anxiety to watch. Like it was a hot mess out there. Players were not connecting passes. The ball was divided most of the time. Chicago had some good chances out there, but we have an excellent keeper in Smith. That's, thank God we have her.
Yeah, it felt like a rotated lineup, and it looked like it. Another home game for us, Ruby, and another rain delay. Lightning strikes twice. Lynn Williams finds herself all alone in the box and definitely hits a volley far post for the opener with her left foot. And Ruby, I kept thinking, like, imagine you taking your family to this game as well, and it's another rain delay.
I cannot believe there was another rain delay. 3 rain delays in one season. And this Sunday, July 2nd, when we play Angel City, it's not looking pretty good, let me tell you. I was looking, and 70% chance of rain. That's no good. If there's another rain delay, I don't know. I don't know what's going on with Jersey right here. It's turning into like Florida or something. I don't know. By the way, Really nice goal from Lynn Williams. There was no way Alyssa Nair was going to get that ball right there. It was nicely placed in the where she could not like reach for that. It was incredible. Just as Gotham was getting into the game, the rain delayed happened, which sucks. And I don't know if you saw O'Hara's reaction, but I think that was all of us like feeling that way.
I did. I'm looking up the entire time. Like, there's not a cloud in the sky. I walk up to the side of the stadium, I'm looking out, and I don't see a cloud anywhere. And it was crazy because as soon as we got back to our seats for the rain delay ending, that's when the rain just started hitting. It was pretty crazy. And so I was like, okay, it's gonna get delayed again, but it didn't, which is good. And it was crazy because Gotham came out of the half and Chicago was out of sorts. Then we the rain delay, and then Chicago is in form and Gotham is out of sorts. Chicago got one right back after the delay, but then Ali Long hit one of the most beautiful free kicks I've seen. It was stunning. Gotham's first set piece and first free kick goal of the season. Fantastic.
Oh my God. Incredible. Incredible that we had Ali Long taking that free kick. I don't know. I think Ali Long should be taking all the free kicks from now on and maybe all the corners as well.
Why not? All right. So follow me on this one, Ruby.
Uh-huh.
I've been manifesting a set piece goal. Check. However, I have also been manifesting a goal from a center back, possibly the center back. I left it up to the soccer gods to determine who the center back was. Apparently, it's Ali Long. I don't make the rules. Soccer gods work in mysterious ways.
I think it was the rain delay. Something in the rain.
Yeah. So Ali Long is the center back. All right. Both Neely Martin and Ellie Jean were excellent in this one. Both were taking advantage of their playing time. Neely made 17 recoveries, 5 of her tackles completed, and got her first assist.
Yeah, great numbers right there. Really awesome numbers in the game. It's fantastic. Like, just to witness players like Martin and Jean stepping up and making the most out of their opportunities.
Yeah, when she came to the team, I was told she was a right back or a center back. Amros thinks she's a defensive midfielder. And the first couple of games was a little slow, as you would expect. But she's really picked it up, and she's been calm and composed and been really, really good.
I agree.
Yeah. Let's get back to Midge Purse. Midge Purse's return was so welcome. The Ryan and Purse sub combo was so good. Immediately getting forward, they were just creating chances and working well with each other. Midge looked like her old self. She was cutting across the defenses, pulling defenders all over, creating chaos, creating chances. What a weapon she can be.
Yeah, so good to have her back. I am so happy she's back, especially right now. Like we've been saying, we have players going to the World Cup. So her coming back right now, it was perfect timing. I wonder how long it will take for her to be on the starting lineup. I mean, she hasn't played in a while, and I assume she will not be playing a full 90 too soon.
We'll have to see. Honestly, Ruby, this was just an ugly game. I'm glad it's over, and Gotham moves on with 3 points.
Yeah, for real. I was glad when it was over and Gotham was able to secure those 3 points and finally win after 4 games without a win.
Yeah, going back to the last time we played Chicago, I think both times, and I'll say it again, Chicago, what is you doing? Going to let Lynn Williams just sit in the box between 4 defenders, nobody challenge her, just let her get a ball of a looping long throw in. Bottom table teams are going to bottom table.
Oh my God. But it looked like the defenders just froze and forgot about Lynn all of a sudden. However, it was evident that Chicago was doing well at defending Gotham players because they had 2 defenders to mark them closely when a Gotham player had the ball. So I think that was just a slip up because they were doing really well. And yeah, Lynn was free, they froze, and we scored.
Yeah, all 4 players looked at each other like, okay, you got this.
Right?
And no one did anything.
Like the Spider-Man meme,
yeah, you do this.
Yeah.
You got it. All right, Ruby, any stats of the game?
Yeah, in the past 2 years, Chicago and Gotham have played 8 games. Gotham has won 3, they have tied 2, and they lost 3 against Chicago. Honestly, I'm going to say that's not bad.
All right. The following are 2 stats from Opta. The first one is Ali Long's strike was Gotham's 3rd direct free kick since the start of the 2016 NWSL season, after Carly Lloyd did it in 2018 and Tine did it in 2021.
Wow, since 2021, about damn time.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
and like I said, just let Ali Long take those free shots now.
Yeah, it's those futsal tricks that she has.
Mm-hmm.
Also, Gotham FC's Lynn Williams has scored 24 left-footed goals in all NWSL competitions. Only Alex Morgan, 35, and Marta, 26, have scored more since Williams joined the league in 2015. Pretty incredible. All right, let's get to our player of the week. Over on Twitter at OverGothamPod, fans chose Long. Thanks to all the fans who voted. Do you agree, Ruby?
I agree with all the fans in this one here. In absence of Ali Krieger, Ali Long stepped up as a veteran and as a leader, and that banger was the game winner. So, yes, she deserves it. What about you?
We had Lynn Williams, Christy Mewis, and Ali Long on the fan vote. And there's a solid case to be made for each of those three. But honestly, this was Mewis's best performance that I can remember. It's as if she was being called to the World Cup, lifted 50 pounds off of her. She was playing so freely. She was everywhere, taking players on, checking back on defense, creating chances. I'm just going with Christy in this one. She was fantastic.
Yeah. And I think not 50 pounds, it was more like 500 pounds of her. and
Yes.
and yeah, now that she's going to the World Cup, I hope she keeps playing the same way she did in this last game. I mean, especially in a World Cup, it can be stressful, especially because this is her first World Cup. And yeah, so it's been going to be more stressful for her. So hopefully she can keep playing like she did in the last game with 50 pounds off, 500 pounds off her shoulders.
Yeah, it was evident in just everything. Even if you go back and watch the highlights, right with the end where Lynn Williams pushes the ball wide, Christy has the ball at the top of the box. She could have made an easy pass, but she decides to take on like three defenders, cut between them, the outside of her left foot to Lynn on the outside of the box without even looking at her. She was on another level, and I'm just excited to have her take on that tournament, as you said, and then come back like that player, because that was like Houston Dash Christy Mewis when she was getting a goal or assist every other game, and I just can't wait to see that Christy Mewis for this club with all that stress off of her. Let's get over to standings. Ruby, what do you got?
Gotham moves up one spot, and now it's a number 5 on the table with this win against Chicago. Now they're still in the playoff position in the 5th place right now, but the next 3 games will be really important to win and get as many points as possible to secure playing in the playoffs. So the standings right now, it's Portland number 1, North Carolina 2, Lorraine number 3, Washington Spirit number 4, and right now Gotham at 5, and number 6, San Diego.
All right. If my calculations are correct, and 33 points is the playoff threshold, Gotham needs just 12 points from the last 9 games, 1.33 points per game, which is 4 wins out of their last 9. That should do it. Or they can get 3, 3, and 3. Either way, it's looking pretty good. Real quickly, before we go to our next opponent, we do have to talk just real quickly. We did have our Challenge Cup game during the week, which was postponed, rightfully so, because there was a lot of... I noticed it the day before when they were showing videos of Christy and O'Hara and Lynn getting delayed at the airport going to, Australia. And then I heard the rumor late on Tuesday night, and I was like, I don't know if I quite believe it, but it's possible. I waited for the official, and yep, it's official. Frustrating, but it's going to feel like we play Orlando every month because we're going to play them again at least two more times.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Last time it got postponed, it was because of the wildfires and the smoke and the air quality in New York, New Jersey. Now, this time the team couldn't take off because of the bad weather and the rain. And yeah, it was pretty bad around here. We had a tornado warning around here. So yeah, that's why they couldn't travel to Orlando. If they would have made it, it would have been, really bad for them because they wouldn't be able to rest and be ready for the game.
Yeah. All right, let's get to our next opponent. This game this weekend is on MSG as well as Paramount Plus. Sue Bird is the honorary captain for the official coin toss pre-kickoff. So we have celebrity owners too, Angel City. On to Angel City. Gotham leads the all-time series 2-1. And friend of the show, Becky Tweed, returns to Red Bull Arena, who is now 2 wins and 1 draw in her tenure as interim coach. 2 of those wins over their rival, San Diego Wave. Angel City at this point would need, according to my calculations, 20 points from their last 9 games to make the playoffs. That's 7 wins out of 9 or 6 wins and 2 draws. It's a long shot. I don't think they're going to do it, but let's just make it really hard for them.
Yeah, it's going to be really hard for them to be able to win that many games for the remainder of the season. But I think they should just give Angel City should just give Becki the job already. She's doing great. Angel City looks different since Becki took over. Even though she's our friend, I don't want them to win. Nope. Especially if they're coming to our home, if they're coming to Red Bull, they should not win.
Yeah, we talked about this before the podcast, but I'm really excited to see Becki take over this team, and I think the team is different now.
Mm-hmm.
It's a different team. It's not Freya's team anymore. They played these last 3 games with grit, intensity, and there's more tenacity. It's more offensive than it was before, so I'm excited to see that Angel City. I still think we can beat them, but I hope Gotham can meet their energy.
And yeah, like you said and I said, Angel City is really a different team right now since Becki took over. And they come with like that renewed mentality and energy. Gotham needs to win this game and to be one step closer to securing the playoffs. I think this game will be a fast-paced game because that's how Angel City likes to play. I think Gotham has to go back to pressing and marking when they don't have the ball. Try not to give Angel City space or time to get close to the goal. And also Gotham has to dominate the midfield in this game. It will be a really interesting game for Gotham since we're losing 6 players who play often, and at least for those are regular starters.
Yeah, let's talk about that real quickly. Both teams are losing a lot of players, but I think Gotham is in a unique position to still put out a good lineup, even though we're losing players. Just off the top of my head, I'm thinking, let's say we have a front line of Ryan on the left side, Hurst on the right, and maybe Sheehan and Svava up top. That's a pretty good rotated 3 up front. I think it's pretty dangerous. We still have a midfield of Long, Martin, Zerboni, possibly even Sheehan. That's a very good midfield. I don't think many teams in the league are going to have that strong midfield at this point. And we have our back line of Neiswanger. Now, we could, as we talked earlier, put Jean on the right side. And if Krieger's back, it could be Krieger Edmonds, could be Krieger Freeman Edmonds. However that works out, that's still a really strong back line. And then we got one of the best keepers in the league in Smith. So I think we're still going to be in a good spot to take points in this game and through this break.
Yep, we're still solid.
Yeah. What are we manifesting this week, Ruby?
Since we have Midge back and playing in the team, I want to see a goal from Midge Purse. So I'm going to be manifesting a goal from Midge Purse. What about you?
I want a non-rain delayed home game. I am manifesting that with all of my being.
Yes, please. Oh my God. I'm not going to lie. I've been looking at this weather app every day to see if it changes. Usually it does change, but it's not changing much lately. So I'll keep watching the weather app. As of now, let's see. Let me go into it now and give you guys a little update on how it's going to be on Sunday. So let's put Harrison here because right now we have Sunday 60% chance. So it went down earlier today from 70%. Now it's 60% chance. So hopefully it goes down to 0.
Yes, I think we're all manifesting that at this point. Any random thoughts before we go?
No, not really. I don't have random. Only this air quality is crazy. It's it's coming back. The winds and the smoke from Canada. What's going on over there?
Yeah, it's craziness. All right. I'm going to give my random thought is going to be our USL WLE friends. I'm going to give a update on those teams. There is 1 game left in the regular season, and it's the Soccer Over Gotham Cup. Woo! Paisley Athletic travels to Morris Elite. Paisley has had a bit of a rough go in their first season, but I think they look promising enough to get themselves in the top team next season. Morris Elite, on the other hand, has just clinched the playoffs for their 2nd season in a row. Congrats to Coach Stephanie Savino on another successful season. They have been, I'm watching the games on YouTube, an absolute killer this season. Every time I watch their team, and I'm like, they are just a well-drilled, well-oiled machine, and they're just so well-coached. they have a talented squad too, and they are just simply punishing teams. They've been beating the past two teams. They beat them 5-1, 7-0. And these are like the other top teams in that division. They're just rolling through. So on July 1st, 6:30 p.m. at Ranger Stadium, which is in Madison, New Jersey, and that is Drew University. The games have been on YouTube, so I would look for them there. Look for Morris Elites on YouTube. I'm assuming that's where this one's going to be as well.
That's really cool, honestly. Stephanie Savino has been doing such an amazing job with this group of ladies out there, coaching them. Last season, I went to see them, and they were incredible. It was such a great win. I went to see them, and it's so awesome that they clinched again, and they're going further. Hopefully, this time they go all the way. But I'm telling you, this group of people are amazing, and I still don't know if I'm doing anything on the first, but if I don't, I might as well just go because I'm really close to Madison.
Sounds good to me. It's exciting. But all right, let's go talk to Nina and Amanda and get caught up on Angel City, shall we, Ruby?
Let's go.
Let's go. All right, fans. We cannot tell the stories of this league without help from our friends. So our next guest does a tremendous job telling the stories of Angel City. Angel City Chicks can be found on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and on YouTube. Welcome to the show, Nina and Amanda.
Hello,
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thank you so much. Excited to be here.
Yeah, I'm glad we finally got to do this. And, Gotham and Angel City have a lot in common. Obviously, we're both big markets, both have incredible stadiums. We shared a coach or two. And it's a very interesting time for this club, and I can't wait to get to your expertise on your team. Let's do some rapid fire, some fun questions to get started. So, teams that you follow outside of Angel City.
Ooh, is this NWSL or just regular sports teams in general? Is this open-ended question, like whatever comes into my brain first?
Correct.
I mean, I can tell you Amanda's.
Okay.
Amanda follows LAFC, Arsenal, and Rams.
Definitely. Yeah, I mean, LAFC is probably my biggest outside of Angel City. Just love that club for a lot of personal reasons as well. But I love the Rams. I love Arsenal as my EPL club, and go Dodgers.
Yes, definitely go Dodgers and LAFC and Angel City.
So, what are you nerdy about outside of sports?
Ooh, science. I love health care kind of stuff because I'm a nurse, and love true crime stuff.
Okay.
Oh, 1,000% true crime. Amanda and I go down the rabbit hole with true crime. I think that's one of the things that made us like really good friends to start off with.
Yes, definitely. I mean, I have downloaded something that I'm going to listen to on a plane tomorrow on my way to Detroit, and it's a true crime thing on Netflix that I'm going to watch. So yeah, definitely true crime, nerding out over here.
I also really like Excel.
Excel?
Nina loves spreadsheets, okay?
Love a good spreadsheet.
She does.
Yeah. All right. What is the last book that you read?
The last book that I read was called The Guest List, and it is a fake crime story about somebody who gets murdered, and yeah, of course.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't remember.
Yours is probably some manual for something at work.
Oh, I got a new binder for work.
There you go. So, but yes, and I have a new book ready to go for my flight as well, because I love to read on planes. That's like my go-to, because I hate flying, but reading just like puts me in a good mental space, especially if it's like a crazy like crime drama.
Yeah,
I like to watch movies and documentaries about planes crashing while I'm on planes.
You would, Nina.
It prepares you.
Yeah, I know someone else who's like that too, and I don't get it, but there's something to that.
Yeah, no one's going to be an Angel City Chicks fan after this interview.
I have some stuff to talk about in our fluff of our podcast we're going to do later, so just stick around for that, because it has to kind of do with what you just said, Nina.
Well, I have something to show you later.
Oh gosh.
Okay.
Anyways,
your dark horse team for the World Cup.
Ooh.
England for me. I'm
That's a
big in.
dark horse.
I mean,
Yeah, I
just
know.
because, dark horse. Well, I guess, yeah.
It's just a
Who
horse.
shouldn't win? Yeah, it's just a horse in the race. Because I guess I just feel like U.S. is so dominant. I feel like everybody else is a dark horse. To be honest, let's be real here. But that's who I would root for outside of the U.S. I
Mhm.
guess is the way to answer that.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I would have to go with Japan. I don't know. Like, I don't know if I necessarily consider them a dark horse either,
Mhm.
but they're not somebody to sleep on. I think their passing and their skill and their talent level with the fundamentals of soccer is definitely something to keep an eye on.
Yeah. I got Brazil as part of my dark horse for this one.
Yeah.
I think
Nice.
their roster's fantastic.
Yeah.
All right, so you can bring one player to Angel City that's not currently on your roster. Who would it be?
Oh my. Okay. Let's see, Nina.
Ada
I'm gonna.
Hegerberg.
I was gonna
Mm,
say I know
yeah.
Like,
exactly
you
who.
got to shoot for the moon when you get something like that. If I could
Yeah.
get her just in Los Angeles in general, I think I'd cry a little.
Hmm.
Gosh, who would I have? Just talent level. I wish we could just have Sophia Smith. I love her. I think she's so much fun to watch, and I think she's so good. And we're just going to see some amazing things from her in this World Cup. I have no doubt whatsoever. So yeah, definitely. That would be something somebody I'd like to have on our team.
Or
Yeah.
Alyssa Thompson's younger sister.
Well, that could definitely
Let's make that
happen
happen.
soon.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I think that's probably going to happen.
That's a very
Probably.
likely to come one.
Yeah.
Weren't they training together at Angel City recently? They were showing them
Oh, yeah.
behind the scenes. Yeah, it
Yep.
was super cute.
Yeah. I think Sophia Smith and Alyssa Thompson on the same team seems a bit unfair.
Yeah, it seems a little imbalanced, doesn't it? Like, are we going to give anybody a chance at that point?
Or do you
Yeah.
take like a Rapinoe to set them up, because Rapinoe's leading in assists right now?
Yeah.
Well, again, hello World Cup.
Yeah.
Just talk about it. There they all are together, so that's fun.
All right, let's get over to Angel City. So obviously Angel City is an ambitious project. Obviously big budget, big market. I'm curious though, like where does Angel City fit in like the hierarchy of Los Angeles sports teams?
Wow, that's a great question. I think that Angel City has almost made their own market for Los
Mhm.
Angeles sports, because they've created a completely different atmosphere than a lot of people are used to within the LA sports market. And they do have rivals, but it's not like you can go down the block to get a rival for them. Whereas like
Mhm.
when you talk about baseball, hockey, even men's soccer and basketball, you've got your direct rival about 10 miles away. So in this sense, they're kind of unique. They've created an atmosphere that, you can call it marketing FC or anything like that you want, but they have created a brand and a community that stands out independent of soccer, but is also very soccer focused. It's kind of like how we talk about Ted Lasso, and Ted Lasso is a soccer show, but it's also a show about so much more than soccer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. I agree with you, and you kind of took the words out of my mouth. And I was going to say, they are literally like the only thing that you can support if you're looking for exactly what it is that Angel City is trying to build. There aren't duplicates of it that you can pick and choose. Like, I like that color of that team, so I'm going to support that. Or, I like that mascot, or that, oh, I know somebody, who used to play that I like. No, this is literally it. Like, this is all we have built this around the singular entity that for right now, and who knows what could kind of spawn off this. We've seen it with LA sports that it does so well. Somebody comes along and like, we need another one. And I who knows? The way the sport's growing, I can see where that could be. But right now, if you want to see the best women in this country and this world playing this sport, there's only one choice for that. And I think that just kind of shows with our attendance and people showing up to these games and selling out the bank every time, or BMO now, I
Yeah,
guess.
7 fell out this last week, so making some
Absolutely.
good trends there.
They're making it super fun and super trendy to just be a part of. And, it's LA, so it has to be that way.
Yeah. Great. And how much is there like a changeover between, say, LA Galaxy fans and LASD fans? Do they come together to support this team, or is it one or the other? Or how's that work?
Yeah, I think that's the thing that's great is the fact that everyone has come together. They do play in the same stadium as LAFC, and Amanda and I are proud LAFC fans. But when we go to tailgates, and even when we're at the men's games, those things kind of take a back seat for us because we have this team that's even more important. We have something that represents and speaks to who we are as individuals. So it's definitely bipartisan. If I was to characterize the split, it's probably 60-40 LAFC, just because it is also in LAFC Stadium. But there's a good amount of crossover there. Capos for Galaxy, who are capos for Angel City.
Yeah, they've done a good job with that. And like we said, the only thing that feels a bit divisive is the fact that it's in LAFC Stadium. So, people that go in to buy Angel City merch in our merchandise area, our HQ, there's LAFC stuff there. And if you're just really just like 1000%, in on Galaxy, LAFC is like dead to you, then it's hard for you to walk into a place like that for some reason. So I don't know that it's turned off, people 100%, but I think, in the beginning when it was announced, it definitely made some people kind of like side-eye it a little bit. But I think once they got going, I think it definitely, they showed that they are independent of both of those clubs, that they're not affiliated with either one of them. They just happen to use a stadium that one of those teams uses, and that's it.
And we like to remind people that Galaxy and what are they now? StubHub? Staples Center? No.
Dignity.
Home Depot Center? Dignity. Dignity
Dignity
I
Health.
get it wrong every time. They didn't even put in. They didn't want to be the home field. So, and it's a independent ownership. It's a totally different team. They have their own practice facility. So there are distinctions. But when it came down to it, they needed a field. And what was Bank of California at that time put in for it. Dignity didn't.
Speaking of that stadium, like, what is the experience like in that new stadium? With obviously you got big crowds, and so what's it like being in that stadium for games?
It's incredible. It's hard to compare that to any other sporting event that I've ever been to be honest. The intimacy of that stadium with the pitch and the players, and just how it's not, because it's only 22,000, it's loud, and it just feels like the roof that's not there would have blown off if it wasn't already not there, because it's just so loud and exciting. And it's hard to go to a game like that and not have such an incredible time. It's hard to explain, especially when you go to big places like Dodger Stadium that are just so big and you don't have the same kind of atmosphere. I find myself getting a little bored going to other like sporting events now. It's really weird. It's kind of a little sad because, LAFC and Angel City are both in here and they have such similar atmospheres, and it's just electric. And I don't know. And I just get goosebumps every time that I'm there. I don't know how to describe it other than that.
Yeah. I was at a hockey game a couple months ago and I'm like, where's the supporter group? Where's the drums? Where's like, this is pretty, it's a fun sport. It's not the same. It's
right.
Yeah, don't go to baseball. It's even quieter.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, I quit baseball a long time ago. That was way too boring for me. Yeah. All right. So at this point, you have a rivalry between San Diego and Angel City. So does it feel like a real rivalry?
Yeah, I would say it definitely feels like a real rivalry. We've put everything on the line for these games. We see some of the player injuries in the aftermath of the games, and you can tell it's a real rivalry when current standing and current stats mean nothing, because we came into that rivalry match last week against the Wave and they were ranked number 1 and we were down here at 10. And I know the point differential on the table right now isn't too crazy, but we knocked them down to 5th.
Yeah, it's a real rivalry when your team throws everything out the window and just shows up and plays, because it just means so much more than just points on a table. There's a lot more at stake. You've got your supporters that have traveled and are giving it your all. So, not that they don't do it for us every game, but there's just a little bit more to it. And you can just feel it. You feel it in the air. And obviously, it's a lot different than a rivalry like Galaxy, LAFC. Those have almost gotten to the point where they're not even fun anymore. These are fun. Everybody's there at the end of the day for the same reason, to support the club. But, for 90 minutes, it is, us versus them in the stands, on the pitch, on the socials, everything else, and it's a lot of fun and you can feel it.
Mhm. I would say that there's a bigger picture at play too within this rivalry, because we also, more than anything, we appreciate and understand that we are still all fighting for the same things within the world of sports. And that's, equal pay, as we've talked about on numerous occasions, I'm sure, as well as just, in general recognition and equality. So there's so much more to the sport of women's soccer than just what's on the pitch. And I think that comes out more than anything because you see people actually putting it away after the match. Like on the pitch during those 90 minutes, we're going hard, we're going at each other. But as soon as that match ends, we're all in the fight together again.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right. And now there's going to be Bay FC coming into this in between these two rivalries. So do you feel like they're a third wheel, or is there room for three in this rivalry?
Bring it on.
Bring it. Bring it on. Let's go. I mean, there's within the men's team, we definitely have the same thing. We have what we say, Carson. We have LA. We have San Jose. So,
and we're getting San Diego.
And we're going to get San Diego. So, yeah, just pile them on. That's fine. The more the merrier. Like we said, this is just so good for the women's game at the end of all of it. And these rivalry games, they just get hyped up so much and they're so much fun to watch and to be a part of that. Yeah, I mean, I think this will be a lot of fun. I mean, they've seen what we've all done. So I'm curious to see what they take away from us and San Diego in growing this franchise and what they bring to the table.
Say I live in Laguna Beach, which is, I think, equidistant from LA and San Diego. So sell me on why I should root for Angel City over the Wave.
We have shade in our stadium.
Honestly, I don't know that there should be any other argument. If you've ever seen Snapdragon, there are like 5 seats that are in the shade in that entire stadium. I am so curious to see what they do when they bring the men's team in, because I'm sure there's going to be a lot of people saying stuff. But aside from that, which is kind of funny and a great reason if you're as pale as Nina is, I think aside from that, I know that the product on the pitch is a point of contention for some people. But we've just built something so much bigger. We built such a community, and if you came to one of our tailgates, you would just know exactly what I'm talking about. You would just feel how much community there is involved. I mean, we have how many? I think 6 or 7 supporter groups now. For Angel City just alone. And they come from all facets of life. They support all kinds of different things, but they also accept everybody and who they are. And I think the inclusivity of our club is one of the things that we really do pride ourselves on. And if you came to our tailgate, you would find someone or somebody or something that just made you feel like this is where you should have always been.
And I'll say the atmosphere is just hands down a lot better when you come to an Angel City game. And there is a lot of bias in that statement. But also, we went down to Snapdragon and we chanted, "We can't hear you." And that's because our fans go hard. If you come to an Angel City game, it's not just La Fortaleza that's going crazy, our supporter section, but it is everyone in that stadium. When that referee messes up, he knows right away, or she knows right away, because the entire stadium is booing.
No, hopefully that paints you a good picture of kind of what we bring. But I do think it's one of those things where you have to just come and experience it. I mean, it's not something I can explain to you so much as you can just experience, and then you'll understand it. And I see the comments out there on social media all the time, like, "Hey, I just went to my first Angel City game. Like, why didn't anyone tell me about this before? It might be my new favorite thing in LA." And it's just like, it's so cool to read those kinds of comments out there. And every time I see that, it just makes me happy, because it just shows it's a testament to what everybody that's a part of this club has done to grow this to the level that it is currently.
Yeah. All right. Let's talk about the team a little bit. Obviously, we'll start with a coach that we know in common. Obviously, Freya Coombe. How would you describe her tenure as a coach over this past, I guess, season and a half?
Unlucky.
Yeah.
Honestly,
Very unlucky.
I feel like it was unlucky, and unfortunate, because we've talked to Freya a lot, and we've been on her we've been in on the press conferences and heard her speak, and she's a great coach. She absolutely is. I can't say enough about her as a coach or as a person. and unfortunately, just what she experienced while she was here in our first season, growing a new franchise, bringing in different types of people with different types of visions, and trying to put all of that into something that made sense on the pitch, and then having injuries on top of it. And there were just a whole lot of parts that I don't know. I'm not. You could have put a lot of people in that role, and I don't know that it would have been easy to be successful. Does that make
Right.
sense?
It does. It
Okay.
absolutely does.
Nina, do you agree with that?
Absolutely. Yeah,
Okay.
you said it perfectly.
Well, you're the one who always wants to lobby to be the coach, so I feel like you would have a lot of opinions about what a coach does wrong and right and all that. So
Yeah, I do, but we have more than just we have more than just Freya in common. We also took Daniel Ball from you. We also took Becky Tweed from you. We took some of your keepers.
Dee
Like,
Dee.
yeah,
Yeah.
we went over to Gotham and we were like, shopping.
Yeah, you looked at our roster like a menu. Like, yeah, I'll have that. I'll have that one. I'll have that.
Yeah, Freya was just the entree.
Right.
Yeah, we interviewed Daniel Ball. He's a great guy too. I liked talking to him. But let's move over to obviously your new interim coach, Becki. What do you think of her so far? And are you like, what do you think her ceiling could be with the team? Do you think she could possibly, if she does well, stay as a coach?
I'm fighting for her already. I love her. The second she like took on the wave, the way the players reacted to her, the things they had to say about her, I'm fighting for her. I want her as our head coach. I want us to drop that interim title. I know they probably won't do it right away, but it's weird to say after 2 games that I feel like she's earned it. But I already see it. I see her tactical mind and the way she plays the game, and it more matches the kind of soccer that I love, which I know is super biased, but I'm in. I'm all in. I think that Becki takes us to a title.
Ooh, okay. I like that. I mean, Nina can definitely speak to this part of things, as far as from a coaching perspective and what she does with the players and formations and tactics and all that. But coming from just a perspective of just a person, she just seems like such a genuinely sweet person. She seems just easy to talk to. She seems like someone that I feel like the players probably get along with really well and feel comfortable with. And I'm excited, like Nina said, to see, unless she gives them a reason to go out and look for somebody else, I feel like this is her opportunity to say, stop looking.
I'll say one thing about Becki. She got a chance to coach one game with Gotham, and if I feel like when she did that, she had the attitude of like, I'm watching somebody else's kids, and she just had to make sure that we're still alive at the end of the game. But I see a different attitude in Becki just from the interviews I've seen from her with Angel City. She has a confidence and that she did not have at Gotham. Maybe she feels like this is now her time and she's learned enough and she's got enough coaching licenses. And I just feel like a determination in her that I hadn't seen before. So I'm really excited to see what she can do with this roster. And obviously, you're getting some players back. Do we have any timeline on Kristen Press?
Next year.
I don't know. They still list her as season ending, and obviously she
Okay.
didn't get the call to the World Cup. So that kind of gives us an idea that she's just not ready. And I don't know. They're very hush hush on those kinds of things, on injuries. Her same as like Simone Charlie with her
Yeah.
Achilles. I'm not really sure what's going on with her. June Endo though did get the call up, so that gives me some confidence that she has to be close to being ready. I don't know that she would have gotten called up if she had an injury that they thought was going to carry through the World Cup.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And speaking of the World Cup, as far as departures go, obviously it affects different teams differently. How is this World Cup taking away players in this roster? How's that going to affect this team, do you think?
It's going to be a little rough for us for a minute, I think. We're going to be losing Julie Ertz, who's been really key in the midfield, also taking shots from out far. And then Alyssa Thompson, our young little prodigy, going off to her first World Cup as well. So we will see what happens. And then Junendo, you can't miss her on the pitch. So it's going to give a lot of opportunity to a lot of players on our bench. But unfortunately, one of the things Angel City has become known for is playing our defenders as forwards. So I'm just really hoping we don't go back to that, because I think that's the biggest takeaway from Freya's tenure is that doesn't work.
Yeah.
Well, I'm hoping, I mean, with LaRue being back healthy and with Jasmine Spencer playing a lot more in that forward role, and if we're 100% sure Claire Emsley is not going to the World Cup, like there's still some gray areas between Allie Riley and Claire Emsley on whether or not, like they're listed on their their national team rosters, but I haven't really seen official announcements of them being called up to the World Cup roster. So, it's all very vague. Like on some lists, I've seen them, yes, and then on others, I've seen nothing. So if that is in fact true, that if she's not called up, then hopefully she'll be healthy enough with her, Katie Johnson, Jasmine Spencer, Sydney LaRue. So our front area should be good. And I mean, we still have Danny Weatherholt, we still have Le'Veon, players that notoriously started last year in our midfield that I have no doubt can come in and pick up where Julie will leave off for now. But it is a big loss. I mean, Julie has been huge key for us in the midfield. I mean, such a leader out there, and I think really directing our players in a lot of ways. And I think the more and more that we see her out there playing, I think we were going to see that develop into something pretty magical. So I hope that they don't lose a step with this run being gone for a month. But yeah, I'm so proud of them though. They're this is going to be so exciting to see those two going off to training camp together. I can only imagine. I mean, it's like big sister, little sister kind of vibes for me.
Absolutely. I mean, in the press conference, Julie kept saying, "Don't worry, I'll teach her. Don't worry, I've talked to her." Like, she's definitely like mama bearing, big sistering it up.
Yeah, it's so cute.
And one player that we didn't want to lose, but we did, is Didi Heritage. And I feel like it took a couple of games for Angel City fans to get warmed up to her. But tell us what she means to this fan base.
I think last season was a lot better for Didi. I think this season she seems to be struggling to find a little bit of her form, and we know Didi has a great mental game too. But I'm seeing her almost doubting herself right now, and that's just a really recent run. She's punching out balls that she probably could have collected, but in general, Didi is our like goddess. Like, we live for Didi, we trust Didi. Didi between the posts is all anyone needs. Now, I want her to remember that that's what we think of her, because I think she's gotten in her head a little bit.
Yeah, I like Didi. I think she makes some incredible saves, no doubt. I wish she could work on her ball distribution a little bit. Sometimes it's a little wonky, but I think she's done really well. I think we've got a really strong back line too, and I think that's really helped out a lot this year. We've been really
that's something
unfortunate.
new.
Yeah.
Like, let's remember that that's also something new. They built a defensive line, and then like every player they drafted to play defense and center back with Didi got hurt. So she is, for the first time, working with like Sarah Gordon. And that's a huge change from somebody who hasn't had that kind of experience that Sarah brings to the table. So Didi is having to redevelop a whole new dynamic with her entire back line. And we can't underestimate how difficult that can be for a keeper.
Yeah, no, I'm still team Didi. I think she's incredible. I think there's a few little key components that just need to be tweaking, and like you said, I don't know how much of that is just mental. She's had a couple little instances in the last couple games where she's needed some medical attention. So I don't know if she's got a little bit of something bothering her. We're going to talk about that on the pod as well. I put that in the notes, but just wonder if there's something like kind of ailing her. But I still think she's a fantastic keeper. I do. I enjoy watching her, and she does make some great saves. So
all right, let's finish up with some questions just about you two. So how did Angel City Chicks get started?
Well, so my husband and Nina's boyfriend, they do a podcast for LAFC called Defenders of the Bank, and we subbed on one of their pods when JR was gone one time. So everybody had such great positive feedback. Like, they loved listening to us. Like, we had really good chemistry, and so that was 2018 in December. Maybe it was more at the beginning of the year, I think, at that point. But 2019 was coming around, and that was the Women's World Cup at the time, 4 years ago. And we decided to start a pod to talk about the Women's World Cup, because we thought, let's just do this. We know LA is going to have a team. It's right around the corner. We can feel it. We can sense it. Let's start talking about women's soccer together. Let's talk about the NWSL. Let's talk about the Women's World Cup. And then once this whole team in LA makes its way here, then we'll see what we're gonna do with it. And lo and behold, July 2020, Angel City was announced, and we rebranded into what we are now. And then we just shifted all of our focus pretty much onto Angel City, and that's kind of what brings us to where we're at now.
And obviously, running a podcast is hard work. It's not easy. And besides the Joe Rogan podcast mind that we're all getting, I'm sure, what is your women's soccer podcast? Why?
Ooh. Wow, that's a really deep question.
I know.
I think for us, it was more of we didn't really have a reason not to. Amanda and I met at LAFC. We became instantly best friends. I consider her more than a friend. She's family. You know, she comes to Father's Day. She comes to Mother's Day. She came over for Christmas. Like, if she's not at my family events, people get weirded out. And, you know,
True.
we both love this sport so much. And we found ourselves being good and able to talk about it. And people liked hearing us talk about it. And, you know, it's weird for us because I mean, we both deal with incredible amounts of insecurity. So this is like, wait, you liked us?
We can hide back here.
We didn't really have a reason not to.
That's what I was going to say. When you say, what's your why? Or why is, well, why not?
I mean, people liked it. They appreciated it. We felt like we were being advocates and, you know, talking about something that was more than just a sport, but also a sport that we both happen to love. And the boys had already bought the equipment.
Already had all the podcasting equipment. All we had to do was sit down and just talk about this amazing game, these amazing players, these women, and what's going on with them. And I think anytime you get people out there talking about this, it just brings more and more awareness to it, and it just puts more eyes on the sport. So, you know, that's probably a big why. Definitely. So that people notice it more, so that people who didn't know before, you know, have an avenue to turn to maybe educate themselves, to learn more about it.
Yeah.
If they're interested, it's a safe space to go to kind of figure out, you know, do I want to pursue this further?
Yeah, like teaching people about soccer, educating and giving the players a voice, and like being their advocates as well. And then, you know, it just kind of had to happen, I think. You know, you mentioned this being a lot of work and takes a lot of time. Oh my God, yeah. I don't think we anticipated that. And between everything that we do, you know, we sit down and we have monthly meetings, the four of us, because it's like, okay, when are we actually working? When are we doing these things? And then I have to like pencil in fun, like, because we're also still friends first. So it's like, okay, but also when are we going to brunch? And I found a free, our next free day is July 30th. So we planned brunch.
We'll brunch then. Yes.
Yeah. But that's soccer season, and I don't think we would trade it.
It is true. All right, and last question. Obviously, having a good co-host means everything, right? Having a good partnership is everything for a podcast. So what makes your partnership so special? Because it works.
I would say just being friends first. You know, we met at LAFC. Like, people don't believe me when I say we met in 2018, because we've become so close. And now it sounds weird because that's, oh my God, it's 5 years ago. But we started out going to brunch and like hanging out together and just becoming friends. And, you know, I think we both want to see I want Amanda to always be her best self. I want to set her up for success in everything she does. I support her hands down blindly. And I think she would say the same thing about me. You know, it's just, we were friends first, and this is something that we just enjoy doing together, and it deepens our friendship.
Yeah, I mean, I can't agree with you more. I mean, 100% this works because it's you and I talking about something that we love together, and the only difference is there's just a microphone in front of us. So
all right. Well, sadly, we've come to the end of the interview. I thank you both for taking the time to speak with me. Covering Angel City is going to be a ride, so good luck. And I'm glad we have you two to tell their story. And I hope that you want to come back and you can keep us updated on what's going on with that team. Obviously, us NWSL podcasters got to stick together.
Absolutely. We love to support all of our other people that are in the media realm because, like I said, the more that we talk about it, the more people are going to listen. So thank you for having us on. We really appreciate it, and I look forward to doing this again.
You are welcome. And Gotham returns to action this Sunday, July 2nd, 5:30 Eastern against Angel City. This game will be on MSG Networks. I'm ready for this matchup against Angel City. Are you ready, Nina and Amanda?
Oh yeah, it's gonna be a
let's
good
go.
one. Woo!
Yes, let's go. Hi everyone, this is Gary. Thank you for listening and supporting our project. Here are other ways you can support the show and connect with us. First, word of mouth is everything, so please share our show with anyone who might listen. Also, please rate us 5 stars on Spotify and review us on iTunes. You can purchase our merchandise at the TeePublic store. Join in the conversation on Twitter at OverGothamPod and Instagram at SoccerOverGotham. Lastly, you can email your thoughts and questions at soccerovergotham@gmail.com. Once again, thank you. Yeah.
Is that a cat behind you, by the way?
Yeah.
Yes. That's
Sorry.
one of my interns. It's Henry.
They're making sure you're doing the right job,
You have a
probably.
Henry?
Yeah.
She has a Harold, a Haggard, and a Huff.
Oh, okay. Yes.
Yeah.
Your Henry fits in.
Yeah.
The H names.
I can't do a podcast without him showing up because I have like a judgment box over here just to get him to stay still. You got to.
You have to, yeah. Oh, I love that.